Hello everyone, this is Ali, aka Bulbtastic. Thank you once again to the TooStupidGamerz for letting me do my Game of the Year list on YouTube. Yeah, it was kind of a hard year to pick. I had trouble picking 10 this year, I think. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff this year I just didn't get to play. So I will mention the ones that I would consider if I played them. So yeah, there's gonna be I'll do some honorable mentions, I'll do some disappointments, and I'll do my top 10. And I've been modifying this list up until last night, so the final list came out earlier today. But it's been fun doing this, and thanks guys once again for letting me do this. So yeah, I guess I'll get started with some disappointments, right? My first disappointment was, I'm sure Mash agrees with me on this one, Rune Factory 5, which it's not a bad game at all, but I'm a big fan of both the Rune Factory series, but also the Story of Seasons / Harvest Moon series. And Rune Factory 5 was pretty long in the making. It was being made for a while. So we were hyped for it, and you know, it came out on the Switch first, and it was not a great release. It was kind of extremely choppy, and also it was lacking a lot of features that the previous games had. The characters weren't as exciting. It was just a mediocre Rune Factory sequel. Like after 4 being like a masterpiece, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I hope they can pull the series back. I think it still sold well, so that's good. And also, it came out on the PC and the PS4, and I don't know about the Xbox, but the PC version was great. So they fixed all the performance issues after that, which is good. I was also disappointed in the Saints Row re-release. I played the first like 4 hours of it, but honestly, like, it's not awful again, but it plays almost exactly like Saints Row 3, which is now over 10 years old, I think. Even to the point where like the problems I had with the UI and the map are still in it. So yeah, I think they just doubled down on the humor, which wasn't funny. I don't think they did a good job with the humor in this new reboot. It's just, I think they missed the target. I don't know who they thought their audience was, and yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Saints Row fan to begin with, but I enjoyed 3 and 4. I enjoyed 2. 2 is my favorite one, but yeah, that was disappointing. I even forgot that it existed until I looked through all the games this year. Chocobo GP, Square Enix's Chocobo racing game for this year. It goes without saying that this was disappointed because they've already stopped supporting the game less than a year later. It's a Switch game, and it released at full price, and it's just filled with DLC and like microtransactions and different currencies, and there's just not that much content in the game to begin with. They had the opportunity here to have a great kart racer, and they just didn't. So yeah, I don't know what happened there. Another disappointment, Ni no Kuni Cross Worlds. I'm a big fan of Ni no Kuni, but this was a phone game, and it looked absolutely beautiful, but you can imagine it being a phone game. It has all the usual phone game problems, so it's just a wasted potential, wasted opportunity, and I feel like if it doesn't do well, they're just going to cancel the whole series. So that disappoints me a lot. I think this will be I was going to put Pokemon Scarlet on the disappointments list, but it warmed up to me a little bit. It's not going to be in my top 10, but I do enjoy it, so I took it off the disappointments list. My last disappointment is going to be the Sonic Origins collection. I was looking forward to this game a lot, and I know there's plenty of ways to play all these old Sonic games. The collection is Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. I think that's all the games. It's just, it was a buggy mess, and also they didn't get all the music for Sonic 3, so they replaced some of the tracks with new tracks that are not great. And also when they released this collection, it was very convoluted. There was so many different versions at various prices, and they had DLC to add like additional features to the menu. I don't know, this isn't the kind of game, this is not the kind of game that needs that kind of DLC, honestly. It's just a collection for the fans, you know. Sega just keeps proving that Sonic Mania is the best Sonic game, and they can't get to that level of quality. Now I'm gonna mention some games that I didn't get to play yet. In the other video I mentioned this, but Xenoblade 3. Xenoblade is one of my favorite series, so I think if I played 3, it would definitely be on the top 10 list. But I didn't play it because I'm still playing 2. So yeah, Xenoblade 3 is not on that list because of that reason. Another game that I didn't play, God of War Ragnarok, because I'm still playing the first one. I just started playing it last year. Yeah, I liked the first one a lot though. I didn't play Bayonetta 3 also. I didn't get a chance to. I didn't play Sonic Frontiers yet, which I'm sure I'll like, and I'm looking forward to trying it out. Yeah, what else is there? Yeah, I didn't play Horizon Zero Dawn 2 or whatever it's called. I forget the subtitle. I think it's Forbidden West. I didn't play that yet. I liked the first one, but I don't think it would be in the top 10 anyway. And I haven't played Star Ocean Divine Force yet. I do own a copy of it. I forgot to grab it for this video, I'm sorry. But yeah, I own a copy of that and I'm looking forward to playing it, but I haven't gotten the time this year to play it. Let's see, is there anything else that I missed out on? Yeah, I didn't play Gran Turismo 7. I know Zero is gonna kick me for that one, right? I didn't play Triangle Strategy. I didn't play Eiyuden Chronicles. I didn't play Monkey Island. I didn't play Mountain Blade 2. Yeah, I think that's all that would interest people. But yeah, I plan to play Xenoblade 3, very much so, and I plan to play God of War Ragnarok. Definitely gonna play those two. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions for games that I haven't played. For games that I have played that it will not make the top 10 list. Let's see. Splatoon 3 is not going to make the list. I did really enjoy it, but it's just more Splatoon, right? I don't feel right putting it on the list. There's been better games this year. Another one for the honorable mentions that almost actually made this list was Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. It's not just a collection of the old games. They actually went and redid every movie, every Star Wars movie, 1 through 9. They made whole new campaigns for all of them. It's a brand new game. It's got open world elements to it. You can explore the planets, there's side quests. It's really good. It's a great game. You should check it out. Chrono Cross got a remaster this year. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers Edition. I enjoyed it. It does have some graphical issues, but I recommend it for people who haven't played Chrono Cross yet. Like me, it's my first time. Yeah, Kirby in the Forgotten Land is an honorable mention as well. It's a great game. They did a great job. It's actually the first time Kirby has ever had a platformer in 3 dimensions, like not just a fake background 3D. It's the first 3D platformer in the Kirby series, and it took this long for them to do it. But it's great. It's really good. I'm gonna honorable mention Tunic because I haven't beaten it yet. It seems really great so far, though. I'm working on it right now. Pocky and Rocky Reshrined. This is a Switch exclusive right now, but it's coming to Steam. Pocky and Rocky is kind of like, it's a hybrid. It's like a top-down shooter, but you're not scrolling. It's not auto-scrolling. You move manually, and you play as like this little shrine maiden girl and her friend, which is a raccoon. And it's really difficult, but it's awesome. Like, you get all these power-ups and upgrades. There's a parry move, you could parry bullets. There's a dodge. It's like a scrolling shooter, but with way more mechanics involved in it. You know, it's a really good game, and it's the first sequel in over, I think, 30 years, because the original games were on I think the Master System or the arcade, and also the SNES. So this is a whole new game. Check it out. It's coming to Steam soon. Oh yeah, also Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII. They did a great job with remaking this game. They didn't change the story or the content. They just made the graphics nicer, a lot nicer, and they made the combat a lot smoother. So it feels better. It doesn't really feel like a PSP game anymore. Also, that game was impossible to buy on the Vita or the PSP store, so it's great that there's a new way for people to play that game. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Might have forgotten a thing or two. Oh yeah, one more. The Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. All 6 of them, they're all really good. They did an excellent job with the soundtracks. And some of them have more features than others. Some of them have more features than others. Like, I think 6 has the most love. Final Fantasy 6 has the most love put into it. But they're all really good, and I think they're the best ways to play those games. As long as you mod out that really crappy font that Square put in. If you get it on PC, you can mod the fonts back to the classic fonts. You want to mention one more game. I got really addicted once again to Final Fantasy XI, the online MMO. There's a new private server out this year. It came out in December, actually, called Horizon, and it's by far the most successful private server there ever was for this game. It has thousands of players, thousands and thousands of players. So I actually have gotten like almost 9 entire days of playtime in this game. Since the private server came out in December, it kind of took over my life a little bit. So I just want to say shout outs to Final Fantasy XI. That's one of my honorable mentions. Not on the list because it's 20 years old this year, so okay, here's the actual list. Are you all ready for my top 10? Don't criticize me, okay? I have my opinions. These are just my opinion. Alright? It's not a definitive top 10, right? Okay, so number 10, and this was just recently replaced for me, and number 10 is, and I'm not going to have boxes for each one of these games. Some of them, most of them I have digitally. So, yeah. Stranger of Paradise. Final Fantasy Origins is my number 10. I had trouble figuring out if I wanted to put this on the list or not. But this week, the game really extra clicked with me. It's a great game. It's made by Team Ninja, and it's loosely related to Final Fantasy 1 in story. It's basically a Souls-like slash character action game. You have 3 characters, and yeah, this is that game that had that ridiculous cutscene where Jack, the main character, like puts on like a fake Limp Bizkit song on his phone, and I like those aspects of the game. I think it's really corny, and it's corny in a really fun way, but a lot of people dismissed it because of that, I think, and you should give it a go. The gameplay is actually really solid. It has a lot of it's not just a Souls-like. It has a lot of interesting mechanics. Like you can class change between two classes whenever you want, and if you time it right, you get bonuses. There's a block and a roll, of course, but there's also a parry. And if you parry certain moves, you can absorb them and use them again. Use them against the enemy that did them. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of crazy mechanics in this game, and it's not the most difficult game. I'd say give it a shot. I think it was an underrated game this year. Yeah, Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin is my number 10. It's on, I think it's on PS4, PS5, and Xbox, and also it's on Epic Games, but not Steam yet. Hopefully it'll come to Steam soon. Okay. My number 9 is Pokemon Legends Arceus. Not Scarlet and Violet, although I did like Scarlet and Violet. Arceus really clicked with me in a weird way. First, the setting's really cool. It's in the past. You get to see the history of the Pokemon world. I know Pokemon's not super story heavy thing, but I like Pokemon, so that stuff interests me. But also, they really took a risk, and they were daring with this game, which is kind of unusual for Game Freak, unfortunately. In this game, you can walk around in big open environments freely, and you can stealth around and throw your Pokeball whenever you want to catch Pokemon. It does have the normal combat system, so if you don't catch the Pokemon, you have to fight, and the fighting works the same way as in the other games, but it all happens in real time on the map, and it's cool. It's not the most complicated game in the world, but just being able to chill out in these really cool environments, and like you can climb and like fly and swim with vehicles. You use Pokemon as vehicles, but yeah, basically it's just an exploration game where you catch Pokemon and you do side quests in the town. It feels really chill and relaxing, and it's just a joy to play this game. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was basically the surprise game of the year for me, I think, because I didn't think it was going to be great. It still looks kind of crummy because it's on the Switch. Yeah. Okay, that was number 9, Pokemon Legends Arceus. Number 8 is another surprise. Square Enix actually provided a code for this game for me, so I didn't really know anything about it until they did that. They sent me a code for Harvestella, and I streamed it. And I thought it would be just like a Story of Seasons clone or Harvest Moon clone, but it's more than that. It's that, but it's also like an Ys game or a Secret of Mana kind of game. So like you go in between farming in your town, and then you go to these dungeons where you fight mobs, and the combat's not super complicated or anything, but you can change classes and stuff. It's pretty fun, and the story's actually pretty interesting. I'm not going to spoil any of it. But there's like this 5th season that happens where people can't go outside because it's like the season of death. And your character, in the very intro of the game, your character wakes up in the middle of it, outside, and nobody knows who you are, nobody knows why you were there, and yeah, it gets cool. It's just a completely unexpected release this year that I didn't even... if you showed it to me last year, I wouldn't have even thought I would play it, but it's great. So if you like games like Ys or Trials of Mana or like Rune Factory, you should try out Harvestella. It was really good. Number 7 is Shin-Chan. Me and the Professor on Summer Vacation, The Endless 7-Day Journey. It's got a really long name. This game is an adventure game. It doesn't have any combat. It's actually a spin-off of a Japan-only series called Boku no Natsu Yasumi, which means like my summer vacation. And what the game is essentially you go to this like this rural area in Japan for summer vacation, and every day you wake up and you just go exploring. You collect bugs, you meet the town people, you like find secrets. It's just a really chill game. But this one is a spin-off. It's the first it's actually the second game in the series to get translated. The first one's called like, it was on the 3DS, called Attack of the Summer Monsters or something like that. But yeah, this one's starring Shin-chan, you know, the famous character where he likes to show his butt, and he's a little kid, and his family goes on this vacation and everything seems fine, but then dinosaurs start showing up and they're friendly, and this professor like traps Shin-chan in kind of like a Groundhog Day situation where he keeps reliving 7 days of this vacation. So yeah, there's a mystery to solve in it, but it's very lighthearted, and it's a very funny game, and it looks beautiful. It's on the Switch. I think it's on the PS4. It's on PC also. It's a great game, and I haven't heard anyone else talk about it, so please play that game. It's really good if you want just a chill experience. Number 6 is a Switch exclusive. It's Live Alive, which I used to call this Live Alive, but they've confirmed that this year that this is called Live Alive. This is a remake of a SNES JRPG from Square that we never got in the US. There's been fan translations, but this is the first official US version of this game, and they knocked it out of the park with this remaster. Essentially, if you don't know what this is the predecessor to Octopath Traveler. There are I don't know if there are 8 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there's 8 characters, and they all have separate stories. But in this game, unlike Octopath Traveler, they all come from different time periods. So there's a robot in the future, there's a caveman, there's a cowboy, there's like a kung fu master that's teaching his students, there's a ninja. Yeah, it's really cool. And then at the end, there's a secret chapter. And yeah, I would highly recommend this. They went above and beyond for this remaster, which I didn't expect at all. All new music, all new graphics. They even did quality of life updates. It's a very unique RPG. I recommend it to everyone. It's so good. Please check this out. That's my number 6. Number 5 is Tactics Ogre Reborn, which is on the Switch, PC, PS4, everything. This is a complete remake of Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together for the PSP, which in turn is a remake of the same name of a PS1 game. So this game has a long legacy. It's essentially the predecessor to Final Fantasy Tactics. It plays and looks exactly the same. It has its own story, and this game in particular has a lot of different classes to change your characters to, but also it has branching paths, so you can change the way the story goes in pretty dramatic ways, and it's a pretty good story. Honestly, I think it's better than Triangle Strategy in a lot of ways. So, and also they cleaned up the convolution from the PSP version, so this one is a lot simpler to play and a lot more fun, and it has a system where you can rewind turns mid-battle. So if you screw up, you can choose to rewind a character's action. So yeah, that's cool. It's very forgiving, but also you can choose not to use that. But also it's not super cheap, because I mean, if you're gonna replay the match anyway, you're essentially doing the same thing as rewinding. It's just extra steps, right? So yeah, I love this game. It's really good. I haven't finished it yet because it's super long, but I love Tactics Ogre Reborn. That's my number 5. Number 4 was another surprise for this year. It was Sifu. Sifu is a roguelike beat 'em up, but it's in third person. So it's essentially like what you would think Streets of Rage would be like in third person. But it kind of has combat that's kind of similar to the Batman Arkham Asylum combat, but it's way harder and way more involved. Yeah, so, but the gimmick in this game, the absolute crazy gimmick in this game is when you die, you age. So you come back older, and also you like gain abilities. So this game has this whole mechanic of trying not to age all the way to the oldest age, while also selecting the correct abilities for your playstyle. And it gets really interesting, but it also has some killer music and some killer level design. It feels like a real kung fu movie, and it's balls hard. It's extremely difficult. So yeah, please check out Sifu. It was really good, and it's probably my favorite indie game of the year. My number 3 is gonna be a controversial choice. I'm gonna give it to Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, the expansion set for Monster Hunter Rise. I played it so much this year. I didn't even get as far as a lot of our friends did, but I played a lot of it, and it's a really good expansion. They did a great job. If you haven't played Monster Hunter before, it's kind of hard to describe. You just fight giant monsters and you take resources from their bodies to make gear. But it's probably one of the best co-op games ever made. So if you have a bunch of friends, try out Monster Hunter Rise. It's on everything now. I think they ported it to PC and PS4 and everything. So yeah, Monster Hunter Rise. It's an expansion. I know. Don't sue me, right? I probably honestly would have put it at the number 10 spot and I forgot, so whatever. It's fine. Number 2 is Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. This was another... I keep saying every game is a surprise. When they announced this, I couldn't believe it, honestly. They made a new Turtles beat 'em up, like Turtles in Time, but they improved on it in every way. It's an incredible game. It looks beautiful. It has an amazing soundtrack, and it lets you finally play as Splinter, April, and Casey, which most Turtles games didn't let you do that. And also it is 6-player co-op if you want to, online also, and it works pretty good. I had some problems with the multiplayer in the first week that it launched, but I'm pretty sure they fixed it now. They did an excellent job. It was incredible. Yeah, please play Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge. It's definitely one of the best games this year, even if you're not a Turtles fan. Why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be? It's great. And my number 1, I know this is going to be a generic choice for this year. A lot of people are going to give this their number 1 spot, but it was the game that I played the most this year. I still haven't beaten it, but it's an incredible experience. Elden Ring from Software. I know it won the Jeff Keighley Game of the Year also, but it absolutely deserves it. I know it's a Souls-like, of course, it's a Dark Souls game, just not in name, but it's got one of the best open worlds ever. It just consistently interesting all the time. Great bosses, great monsters, great gameplay variety. Being a mage in this game is actually viable. Yeah, it's an incredible RPG. I just want to say, I know a few people have had a misconception about this game being like an online game. It's really not. It has co-op. Your friends can come help you fight bosses and stuff. There is a mod that expands the co-op further on PC. It makes it basically a full co-op game if you get that mod. But yeah, Elden Ring is mostly a single player game, and it's excellent. They knocked it out of the park. Any DLC they release for this will be a day 1 purchase for me. I don't think there's much for me to say about Elden Ring that hasn't been said already, right? So yeah, just check it out. I know it's extremely hard, and that throws a lot of people off, but it's also very rewarding. So just, yeah, check it out, give it a shot. If your friend has a copy, try to check out your friend's copy before you get it. But yeah, I think there's something, honestly, I know it's crazy to say, but I think there's something for everyone in Elden Ring, and there's something for everyone in my top 10 list. So yeah, and I can't stress it, play that Shin-Chan game. I think you'd be surprised. And play Live Alive. I think you'd be surprised. I know most people are not going to have these games on their list, but this is my list, right? Once again, thanks to the TooStupidGamerz, Mash and Zero, and also BioVenom, who I think he's doing a video as well. So yeah, thanks you guys for having me once again this year, and I'm looking forward to seeing your lists. And I hope this video isn't too long, and I hope I didn't screw anything up and the sound's good. Please let me know, and I'll see you all later. This is Ali/Bulbtastic. You can follow me on most things as Bulbtastic on Twitter. My Instagram is bulbtastic.tv, twitch.tv/Bulbtastic. Yeah, come check out my stuff. I'll see you all next time. Have a good year. Peace.